What's good, yo? Today will be a quick, easy, simple video. I'm going to be going over how to set your stop loss properly and why you need a proper stop loss. Um, this might be, good for beginners, but even some good traders don't properly know how to trade and, put their stop loss, right? Because I come across a lot of good traders and I see that they are using, the wrong stop losses. They say that their stop loss is tight. There's what's your reason of having a tight stop loss? I feel like you shouldn't have a tight stop loss, that it should always be where it should be go, not where you want it to go. And that's why a lot of people get stopped out of their trade and then it goes back in their direction. All right. So today I'm going to be teaching y'all how to prevent that issue of getting stopped out and the trade still going your way. All right. So no further ado, let's get straight into it. I haven't really went through and looked for any specific areas, so I'm gonna just hop in, not real trades, but I'm gonna set up like a trade, get in, show you how to properly set your stop loss. All right. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for somewhere to get in, right? Let's just say over here, right? Let me do this. All right, let's just say we had gotten in when this liquidity got grabbed above this high, right? So it depends how you trade and what's your trading style that, basically is going to be telling you where your stop loss goes. So basically, if you're trading supply and demand, I'm going to show you an example. If you're trading supply and demand, your stop loss goes above or below. If you're trading support and resistance, it goes above or below. If you're trading liquidity grabs, it goes above liquidity, below liquidity, and so on. All right. Okay. So we had this liquidity grab right here, right? In confluence with, this triple top or whatever you want to call it. You can see it got wiped, wick back, and continued dropping. All right. So let's just say our entry was at this candle close, just like that. Now, what I would see some people do is put their stop loss, like this, and the market can come back up within this area to test it again, and then go in your direction. It's the market. The market's not a perfect, moving price. Excuse me. But you know what I mean? So in this, subject of stop losses, basically like with liquidity grabs, you want to put your stop loss above the liquidity grabs wick, right? So you want to put it above this wick because that's where the liquidity was grabbed. All right. So it would look like that. Now, do not put it directly above it, right on the line like that. Give it some space. All right. Now, some of y'all might be looking like, okay, this is 30 pips, a 30 pip stop loss. But if your risk management is on point and you're actually calculating your trades, no matter what, no matter how many pips your trade stop loss is, you can always, be risking 1%, due to using the proper loss size, right? So the pip size does not matter because at the end of the day, you're always risking whatever percentage you risk, whether it's 1%, 2%, 10%, whatever it is. At the end of the day, it does not matter how many pips your trade is. All right. So that is how you set a stop loss. You set your TPs just like that. All right. Like I said earlier, the reason I like to have a proper stop loss and why you should have a proper stop loss is because the market tests these areas multiple times, right? If the market comes past your stop loss, right, you should know off rip that, if it hits your stop loss, that the market is going to continue going in the opposite direction of your trade. So what I mean by that is if I know that this high right here, let me do this. Right. I know if this high gets broken, if the market decides to do this, I know for sure that the market is gonna go buying. It's not selling anymore. The buyers have taken over because that was basically the swing high. That's the high move. That's where the sellers came back in, right? So, if it's getting above that high, obviously structure is being broken, right? The buyers are coming in. That's where I want to get out the trade because I know when this gets broken that the buyers are stepping in, all right? Same thing for the other way around. So let's just let this play. All right. What I'm going to do is I want to put let's say we had a late entry, right? Let's say we have a late entry on this same setup, or if somebody waited for a bearish engulfing and got in at the close of this bearish engulfing and set their stop loss above this high instead of where it should go. Now, let me delete that. Just because you have a late entry or your entry is down here does not mean that your stop loss has to be here, right? A lot of people go by pips. They tell themselves, they don't want more than 10 pip stop losses, more than 5 pip stop losses, more than 15 pip stop losses. No, you will probably lose more than you'll probably lose excuse me. Got the Bev. All right, excuse me. You would probably lose more trades having a stop loss that you tell yourself is 5 pips, 10 pips only, because you're not setting it where structures at, where highs or lows are, where specific levels are, because that's where they need to go. I need you to understand that's where you need to put your stop losses. All right. So in this case, this is above a high, but it's not above the wick highs, right? There's a difference. This is the candle close highs. This is the wick highs. Through my experiences, the wick highs is, structure, right? So let's just say, we set our TP, we got in here, our TP's this low to the left. All right. That could be our overall TP, and we can have a TP here because this is structure. If y'all want a video on how to properly set TPs, take profits, because it is deep. It's the same way as a stop loss. You must know where to set your take profits. All right. So if y'all want a video, make sure you comment on that. If y'all want to take profit video or whatever y'all want me to do, just comment down and I'll look at it and, get to it. Right. So as I was saying, this is going to be our take profits. Let's see if we get stopped out this trade. Now, there is a chance we might not, but I just want to show you that the market can test this, stop you out, and then continue going down. I haven't looked at it. I haven't seen what's going to happen next. So let's just see. All right. This might get respected. All right. Now, it didn't. So you can see that you get stopped out because you had a wrong stop loss. All right. You get stopped out this trade because your stop loss is bad. It's not set where it needs to go, right? So now you get stopped out and it automatically goes in your direction, right? Now, if you had your stop loss properly set above this wick, like I said, above the area, depending on, how you're trading, how you're entering a trade, this is how, your stop loss would have been. Now, it might be 50 pips. You might have to risk less. You might have to have a smaller lot size. You might, if you're doing your proper risk management, you can obviously go to a website, use their lot size calculator or whatever. But yeah, you see, right? So no matter, like I said earlier, no matter how many pips your trade is, you should always be risking whatever percentage you risk, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%, right? So it does not matter. Usually I wouldn't let myself put this as a stop loss as that much, because that means I would have to go for a higher pip amount to make more money, because I have to risk, less because of my stop loss, right? So typically I wouldn't look for an entry like this, but worst comes to worst, if you do get in a position like this, you would have to risk less on that trade unless you are willing to over leverage. I do not condone that, but do what you have to do. All right. So let's just see how this trade goes. If we can make it to this take profit area and we make it to both take profits. All right. Just like that, I just wanted to show you, how to set that proper stop loss. We'll do it for another example, and then that'll be the end of the video. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next example. What I want to do really quick is all right. We're gonna look for a buy side example. Okay. I hope y'all understanding this. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you drop a like and a comment, and make sure you subscribe and turn that bell on, because I am going to be consistently dropping videos, and I promise you they're going to be worth it and gems. Also, I have a Telegram with signals, and we have a text chat all for free. I do text in there and respond. If anybody wants to ask me any questions, you need any help, you could join that Telegram and text me there. Also, you can follow my Instagram. All that, everything will be in the description. If you want free signals, gems, whatever, join that Telegram. All right. But let's look for a buy example. Okay. let's just look right here. I don't want to take too much of your time and make this video extra long. That will be unnecessary. All right. So let's just say we got in off this double bottom or this support, right? So let's just say we got in for the support, we started to take profit. Now, in this case, you know what? I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a supply and demand. A lot of people know supply and demand though. So we have a supply and demand right here. All right. So this is a supply right here, right? We're going to go back to that support one too. Matter of fact, we'll do that one first and then come back and go to that one. All right. So like I said, here is our support. Let's say you brought here. All right. Now, in some cases, you will have a great stop loss. You will have a slim stop loss depending on your entry. It really all matters on your entry. Sometimes you might catch an elite entry or a bad entry, right? In this case, this would be a great entry. Your stop loss is going right below this low. All right. Your stop loss is always going to go below the low to the left of your entry. Now, what I mean by that is this is the low, right? Now you're looking for the low lower than your entry low to the left, right? So here is the lower low to the left from your entry right there. So your stop loss is going to go below there with a little bit of space, all right? Just like that, all right? You don't want to have your stop loss all squeezed in so tight. Give your trade some room to breathe. This is unnecessary to have a super tight stop loss, all right? So give it some room to breathe, all right? Take profits. We're going to set our take profit up above this high and this high, and that's pretty much it. And we also want to have a take profit at this high, just like that. We might not make it to this high. This is really, really unnecessary. This is 217 pips. We can see though, all right? Let's let this play, and then we're going to go to the next example, all right? Like I said, we might not. So you can see this is why it's important to have a proper take profit, right? I'm just gonna go over really, really quick. Is that you can see in this video, like right here, this swing high. I didn't even see the setup. I just came back. I haven't even looked at it. And I like to target highs as take profits because typically, highs is what can cause the market to reverse. Now I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but you can see that this take profit rejected multiple times and immediately sold. You can even see at this high, we pretty much rejected just a little bit before we went through, but y'all get the point. So y'all can see that's how you set your stop loss on this support entry. All right. Now for this supply entry, all right. Now, sometimes it's going to be different on the supply and demand because sometimes your supply candle can be like this. All right. Sometimes it can be smaller. Sometimes it can be bigger. In this case, this one is average. This is a average supply candle. Okay. It's not too bad. It's not too bad, right? So supply and demand. And then it also depends where you enter within the supply. Typically, I like to enter depending, sometimes I'll get in at 50% of the supply or the demand, or sometimes I get in at 25%. So if I know this is 50%, I'm splitting this 50% in half, and 25 is right around here, just like that, right? So I'm getting in around 25% filled within the supply. So my entry would be just about right here. That's not actually pretty good. And my stop loss is going to go above the supply candle, all right? So this is the supply candle right here. Right there, that's the supply candle, but the bearish wick counts, to put in for your supply because that's going to be your stop loss. Remember what I said, right? If you're getting in right here, your stop loss has to go above the wick highs. So we just do this as the supply, and our stop loss is going just above our supply. Remember, you want to leave a little bit of room for your trade to breathe. You do not want to have a super squeezed and tight stop loss on your trade because you do not want to get stopped out and then the trade goes in your direction. Then you lose money consistently because you're setting the wrong stop loss. All right. Do not set the wrong stop loss. All right. And as you can see, this trade hit for, this is actually a trade I took. This is actually a trade I broke down in the last video. If you go watch the last video, I broke down this trade and I was almost for 300 pips, 290 pips. All right. So that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned. Make sure you soak this information up because it is valuable. It is something you need to do and need to learn. There is ways to refine your stop losses. There is ways, to make them tighter the proper way. All right. I can do a video on that. Some people just throw their stop loss anywhere and just know that it's tight. That's all that matters. No, there is a way though. You can refine your stop losses such as going onto the lower time frame and looking for lower time frame lows. All right, let's just look here, right? We can come here to the lower time frame and adjust it below this low right there, that wick low. You know what I mean? But excuse me, there is ways to refine your stop losses. My best advice is to just learn how to properly set your stop losses so that you can stay in your trade without getting stopped out. You get stopped out, the trade goes in your direction. That plays a big role with psychology. That does mess up your psychology, makes you feel like a bad trader, but you're not. You're just setting a wrong stop loss. It used to happen to me a long time ago when I started trading, setting wrong stop losses, getting stopped out the trade, and it's going your direction. I know a lot of traders have issues with this, so please make sure you're soaking up this information. Not a lot of YouTubers out there tell you this. Not a lot of traders tell you this. This is definitely something you know. So if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe and give me a like. Woo, we out. We out.